We're going to start this meeting in just a minute. I know that they have the internet coverage, so I wanted the people up there know we're going to start this in just about 1 minute.
Thanks a lot.
I'll call this meeting to order. This is the meeting of the House Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications Committee. This is our first meeting of the year. Organizational meeting shouldn't take too long. I'm Don Parsons, and this is actually my first meeting as the chairman of this committee, and just real happy to have this opportunity. Want to welcome everybody out here, all of our guests, but especially want to welcome the members of the committee here today. We do have some new members. We have some members on this committee that have been here on this committee a long time, and so we have a lot of knowledge, a lot of expertise, a lot of history in the committee, and I appreciate all of you. This is for those of you who have not been on this committee before. It's really one of maybe the best committee in the whole House. It has some of the most interesting and I think most interesting issues and ones that touch the people of Georgia, our citizens, the most. It's a great committee, and you're going to enjoy serving on it. And you can ask anybody that's been on here, and they'll tell you the same thing. I want to, since we do have some new members, I do want to give everybody the opportunity today to introduce yourself and just a brief introduction, and tell us where you're from, and if you're new to the committee, if you've been on here for a while, but just a real brief introduction. I do want to give you the opportunity for that. I'm going to start with our vice chairman, Harry Geisinger, and if you'll have to bear with me trying to. And what we'll do, we'll go around from the front of this back, I guess, layer of seats here to the front. So we'll go down that way. Next will be Amos, and then on back around this way. And I'll have to kind of watch and when it gets your time to introduce yourself, if you'll push your button so I can know to turn the mic on.
I'm Representative Harry Geisinger. I represent Roswell Sandy Springs. I've been on the committee for 2 years. My background is in energy for the most part. I was the administrator of Southeastern Power, and look forward to working with the chairman.
Amos Amerson. I've been on the committee for 4 years. I'm also the chair of Science and Technology. I represent House District 9, which is where most people would like to live. That's Dahlonega, Lumpkin County, Dawson County, and a little bit of Forsyth.
Mark Williams from Jessup, Georgia, represent District 178, Wayne, Pierce, and Brantley counties down in southeast Georgia. New member.
Randall Mangum. Is it on?
What's the number?
28. I think we have it now. Okay. Randall Mangum, District 94, representing East DeKalb and Rockdale counties. I've been on the committee since it started, from the split from the other old committee. And I'm glad to be here And I once went to Dahlonega to pan gold when I was in high school. But we are glad to be here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Dempsey, District 13, Floyd County, the entire city of Rome, and I am new to the committee and very grateful for the appointment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Jeff May, I represent District 111, which is all within Walton County, including the cities of Loganville, Social Circle, Monroe, Between, Good Hope, probably some others that I'm going to be in trouble for not mentioning, but look forward to the opportunity to serving with the people on this committee and our new chairman in whatever capacity I may be helpful. Thank you.
Doug Holt from District 112, right next door, Covington, Madison area. And I'm new to the committee. I have a background in IT, which makes this a very interesting area for me.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ernest Coach William, I've been on the committee for over 6 years, and I service House District 89, which is part of Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Clay Cox from Gwinnett County, third year on the committee.
Billy Horn from District 71 in Coweta County, and this is my third year on the committee. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Glenn Baker. I'm from District 78, Clayton County, parts of Henry County. Retired, Georgia Power. Please serve on this committee. Look forward to it. Thank you.
David Lucas, I represent all of Georgia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Don Wicks from 33rd District, which is Mableton and Powder Springs, Georgia, just across the river. I think I was trying to figure up the dates, Mr. Chairman. I guess 6 years on this committee and 4 on industry before that. But anyhow, been around. I can't believe it's been that long. Congratulations, too, on your selection as a new chairman, Mr. Chairman.
17. Okay. I'm Sisty Hudson from District 124. 6 counties in East Central Georgia, 14 cities. I live in Hancock. I represent Warren, Tolliver, Glasscock, part of Putnam, and all of McDuffie. And proud to be a member of this committee and with you, Don. Thank you.
Barry Loudermilk, District 14, which is portions of Bartow and Floyd counties, and I have a background in IT industry and telecommunications. This is my third year on the committee, and we have an awful lot of people from Dahlonega moving into our area. I'm not sure what. Maybe it's when they graduate college they come there, Mr. Chairman.
My name is Brian Walker. I'm the new committee aide for energy, utilities, and telecommunications, and this is my first year, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I should mention that we have a former chairman of the committee in here, David Lucas, Representative Lucas, and we have a former chairman of I think different subcommittees, Don Wicks and. Sister, were you were probably okay, but you've been on for a long time, and I may be missing others, but we do have a lot of expertise and history here in the committee. In your agenda, you have, among other things, you have a copy of the committee rules. If you would take a look at those, if you haven't already, and they're pretty general rules, and you have a list of the members back there, so if you take a look at those, and I am ready for a motion to accept those rules at any time. Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. We have a motion and a second. Beg your pardon?
On revenues, I have a question.
All right, okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at rule number 1 about the large group. It takes 6 people for to have a quorum. In a subcommittee, how many do we need there?
Mike on. That's going to be up to the subcommittee chairman. Normally, I think in most subcommittees, the rules themselves they usually adopt the rules of the committee as far as the quorum. It doesn't even have to be a quorum, but that would be something they would adopt within their own subcommittee.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt the rules. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. The rules are adopted. Thank you. We do have 3 subcommittees in this committee, and subcommittees are energy is one, which will be chaired by Representative Jeff May, Chairman Jeff May. We have telecommunications, which is chaired by Chuck Martin, and we have, I'm trying to remember the name of the other subcommittee. We have the Regulatory and Utility Affairs, which is chaired by Bob Smith. And we do have legislation in the committee, and I'm going to go ahead and assign that at this time. One thing I might say before we even go into that, and we'll, like I say, we'll be brief here and it won't be long unless there is discussion or questions. What I would like to do, and I think this is pretty much what Chairman Lewis did. I know it's what some of our previous chairmen have done since I've been here. When we have a bill assigned to subcommittee, that's where we would like to have as many of the questions asked and many questions answered. We'd like to have them thoroughly explored. If there's testimony to be offered from the public, that's where we like to have testimony offered, although we will take it also in the full committee if it's proper to do that. But the point is, if you're on a subcommittee, that is where I would like for the subcommittee members to try to get the answers to their questions. And that's something that I know that going back when I first came here, Chairman Watson did, and I think probably pretty much all the way through, is try to get your questions answered there. And that's not to say that you can't ask questions when it comes to full committee, but that's where you have the opportunity in a smaller group to get those answers, get those questions answered, and just basically do as much of the work in that subcommittee as you possibly can. And then if it is approved and comes on to the full committee, it makes it a lot easier, and makes it easier for everybody in the committee then to who were not on that subcommittee to maybe get the answers to questions they have. But we want it to be we want to have a fair process and make sure that the public has their opportunity to bring their points to the committee, and also make sure that the members do also. But I do think it's important to get as much of the work done in subcommittee and try to have something when a bill comes out of subcommittee, try to the extent possible to have a bill perfected to the point possible when you bring it to the full committee. Now, we do have some legislation already in the committee. We have House Bill 168 by Representative Clay Cox, and that's going to be assigned to the Telecommunications Subcommittee, chaired by Chuck Martin. We have House Resolution 32. That's by Representative Bearden. That's going to be assigned to the Energy Committee, chaired by Jeff May. We have House Resolution 25 by John Lunsford. That will be assigned to Energy, Jeff May. We have House Resolution 10 by Representative Billy Mitchell. That's assigned to Energy, Jeff May. We have House Bill 105. That's going to be assigned to Telecommunications, Chuck Martin. We have House Bill 94 by Representative Stevens. That's assigned to Regulatory and Utility Affairs, chaired by Bob Smith. We have House Bill 52 by Representative John Lunsford, and that's assigned to Regulatory and Utility Affairs, chaired by Bob Smith. Now, to the committee members, what we will be asking members of the House do when they have a bill, we're asking them to notify us in writing, notify our secretary in writing that they want the bill heard. So even to the subcommittee chairman, if somebody comes to you, and of course, which is good, if they come to you and tell you about the bill and ask you to hear it, that's fine. But I want something. There's a specific form we have that we want them to fill out. So we'll have that on file. We have a documentation that they've asked for it, and that way there's no question about that. There'll be no question about later on whether or not they asked for it, and then you as chairman of the subcommittee will be notified that you need to go ahead and set up a hearing or set up a meeting for that. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Do we have any questions for members of the committee? Any comments? Yes, sir. Let me turn you on here. What's your number? 25.
25. No, just a simple question. Will the assignment of the resolutions and bills be emailed to us, those of us who are on the specific subcommittee?
Emailed?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to get it in
we
writing.
Can, certainly. I hadn't thought about that. We certainly can.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. No problem. Anybody else? I think that's what I was going to cover, I believe. The only other thing I can think of, unless there's a reason that comes up that we can't do it, this will be the normally scheduled time. The rooms, of course, could change, but this would be the normally scheduled time that we'll have our meetings on Wednesday at 2 o'clock, unless it just, and of course, later in the session, sometimes it gets to where you can't have meetings at that time in the afternoon, but this will be our normally scheduled time for it on Wednesdays at 2. And with that, if there's a motion to adjourn, all right, meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.